Hello children, how are you all? Now I came in another video that is the next chapter. The name of the next chapter is Kingdom Classification. The process of arranging things into groups or sets according to some common properties is called classification. So simple is that classification is the arrangement of the things into groups. Okay. And when we talk about biology, here what we are going to arrange in groups, that is the organisms. Okay, organisms together on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities. Okay, their separation into different groups on the basis of differences. Okay, so we will consider similarities and the differences both. Okay, and the branch of biology that deals with naming and classifying organisms is called taxonomy. Now children, in another way, I want to explain you the classification. Just imagine this kind of books, messy room. Okay, can you see this? It's fully messy. Okay, that means it's a pile of books. Okay, now if it will be told to you, just take out biology book, will it be easy for you to take out? Yes, you are correct. You cannot take the biology book at once. Okay, you have to do lots of work over here. You have to waste your time and energy. Then I don't know whether you will be able to get the book, proper book, what you wanted or not. Okay. Now children, see this kind of arrangement. Can you see this? How beautifully the things are arranged in boxes, okay, in shelves, okay, and you see they are grouped. Okay, similar kinds of book or subject wise they are arranged properly into the library. Okay, this is the library picture and you can see how beautifully they are arranged. Same thing happens with the classification also. Okay, we do the classification, or scientists have done the classification just to make the things easier. Okay, so just like if you want a biology book, you can go to the particular shelf where all kinds of biology books are kept over there, and then you can take it out easily. Okay, you know that, okay, fine, this shelf is of biology book and you can easily take it. So same thing happens with the classification also. We have done the classification, or the scientists have done the classification. It is just the grouping of the organisms. Now children, next topic is the need for classification. Why there was a need for the classification? Now you can see here that it is given that 12 lakh types of animals and 3 lakh types of plants in the world are present. Okay, so you cannot study each and every organism. Okay, so it's difficult. Okay, so to study the things, the organisms, okay, their characteristics, their features, the classification is very helpful. Okay, so what biologists have done, they have identified them, named, and then grouped them into groups on the basis of their similar characteristics. So by studying one member of a group in detail, one can learn much about the characteristic of other members of that group. Okay, so you need not to study each and every organism. Once it is categorized in particular group, so that is enough. Okay, because other organism will be also similar to that particular organism. Okay, so here is the advantages of classification. Classification projects a good picture of all living forms at a glance. Okay, that means in a glance, okay, you can see a very nice picture of that. Okay, that what are the living organism and in which category they belong. Then classification makes the study of wide variety of organisms easy. Okay, so as I have told you, only one organism you need to study, and then you can make know other organisms are also similar to that. Okay, just like vertebrates and invertebrates. Okay, the best example. Okay, so whatever the vertebrates are, they are having the backbone. Invertebrates, they don't have the backbone. So simple is that the wide variety of organism can be studied under this classification. Then it shows relationship between organism of different groups. Okay. Then it helps in tracing the possible origin of one group of organism from the other, that how they originated. Okay. And then the next is it supports the idea of evolution of organism from simpler to the complex one, that how the evolution of the organism takes place. Okay. So it is what that how very simpler substances came into the world, then slowly and gradually that unicellular, then it came to the multicellular organism. So that was the idea of evolution. Now here the question arises that who were there who started this classification, or who has given the name for the classification. Okay, so in the beginning it was the Greek philosopher Aristotle, and he is also known as a father of biology. He only introduced the process of classification, but earlier classification was not you can say very satisfactory, and some other scientists have worked, and in that Carl Linnaeus was there. He laid the foundation of biological naming of organisms and system of biological classification, because from his childhood he was very much fond of naming the plants name. Okay, so he only has done so. Then so that's why he is also known as the father of taxonomy, naming on the basis of similarity and dissimilarity, grouping and all. That we'll study in the next page, or you can see here kingdom, phylum, class, order further. So that was just because father of taxonomy Carl Linnaeus was known as. Here his work is that for providing systematic manner for easy identification of number of plants. So basically he has worked on the plants. Okay, classification of plants. So, and for giving some important terms in systematics, like he has given kingdom, then class, then order, then genus, and the species. And the last one, the binomial nomenclature, was also given by him only. Okay, binomial nomenclature, that means if you will study about the scientific names of plants, so there will be the two names, that is the genus and the species were termed together, and then the name is given, scientific name of any plant and the organism has been given. Okay, depending upon the special characteristics, whatever they are having. Now children, classification of living world, how they are classified. Carl von Linnaeus introduced 4 categories for classification. So in the beginning he started giving class, order, genus and species. Then afterwards, when he came to know about more things, then there was family, phylum and kingdoms. Okay, so there were 7 categories. Okay, or the taxonomic ranks. They are known as the taxonomic ranks. Decrease in similarities and increase in number. And here you see kingdom, that was the biggest one. Okay, then phylum was there. Okay, that is the hierarchy. And class, then they were subdivided into class, then class was divided into orders, then order were divided into families, then genus, and then the species. Okay, so this kingdom is the highest category and species is the lowest one. Species will tell the exact quality or exact variety. Okay, so member of a species are mostly closely related and can breed among themselves, but not with members of other species. Okay, that means a particular species will also have different types. Okay, so among them they can breed, but not with the other species. Okay, other groups. Okay, so a species is a basic unit of classification. A species is a group of organisms which can breed to produce offspring, but not with the organism of other species. Okay, other groups, they cannot breed, interact. Okay, like there are many kinds of there are many species of dogs, there are many species of cats. Okay, so accordingly they can give the offsprings also. Now here comes a 5 kingdom classification. Okay, that was the you can say nowadays what we are using, that is the five kingdom classification. Earlier the classification was done on the basis of plant and animals. Okay, in the very beginning the classification was done on the basis of plants and animals, but then the scientists have found that there are some other organisms which are neither similar to the plant and nor they are similar to the animals. So there the question arises that in which category they belong. Okay, so for that kind of classification was discarded. Okay, then furthermore classification came and they could not satisfy the scientists around the world. So then R.H. Whitaker came and then he introduced, he was an American ecologist, and he told about the five kingdom system of classification of the living world. Okay, what is that? First is the kingdom Monera. Okay, then another is the kingdom Protista. Since these words are very new for you, you have to repeat it many times. Okay, you have to repeat these words many times. Okay, so this one, kingdom Monera, okay, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, then kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. Okay, now it can be shown like this also, that bacterias are kept in the kingdom Monera. Then paramecium and the unicellular organisms, they are kept in Protista. Animals are there. Okay, they are kept all the elephant, fish and birds and all that, they are kept in the animals. Then Plantae, you know, and one more is there, that is the kingdom Fungi. All the fungus are present in this group. Okay, the classification. So here I want to explain you about the kingdom Monera in brief. Here it is what is given here, that is a prokaryotic organisms such as bacteria and blue-green algae, Anabaena and non-stop, for example. Okay, prokaryotic organism, that is the simpler cell structure. Okay, that we will discuss in kingdom Monera. Okay, then kingdom Protista, that is unicellular eukaryotic organism. Basically two kinds of cells are there, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Okay, in detail we will study in each kingdom. Unicellular, you know, single cell structure, organisms like protozoan, amoeba, euglena, paramecium and some algae, they are kept in the Protista. Next is kingdom Fungi, multicellular non-green organisms, saprophytes. Saprophytes, that means they are dependent on the decaying matter. Okay, and they grow there, so and they are unable to do the photosynthesis. So the fungi like mushroom you know very well, you eat that also. Then yeast is there and bread molds. Okay, then kingdom Plantae, all multicellular green plants with autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic, you know, those who are having the chlorophyll and they are able to do photosynthesis, and advanced forms. Okay, the bigger ones, the smaller one, all the plants are included in this. Then kingdom Animalia, all multicellular organisms with heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition means they are dependent on others for the food. They don't make their food just like plants. Now, what it was, that five kingdom classification, as here one advantage is proved, that is at a glance. Okay, you can see a very nice and very clear picture at a glance. Okay, so organisms, all the living organisms, plants and animals, are divided into two kinds of cells on the basis of the cells, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, prokaryotes, that means the kingdom Monera is there, only one kingdom, and it includes all the prokaryotic cells, organisms like bacteria. Okay, then unicellular organisms, eukaryotes are divided into unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Now unicellular, they will be limited up to the kingdom Protista. Okay, the paramecium, amoeba and euglena you have studied in 6th standard. Then multicellular organisms, cells in organisms with cell wall, obviously they will be the plant one. Okay, plants. Okay, and cells in organism without cell wall. Plant, animal cells don't have the cell wall. Okay, so here Those who don't have the cell wall, organism which cannot perform photosynthesis, that is the kingdom fungi, and organism which are able to perform photosynthesis, they are the plantae. So here we came to know 5 kingdom classification: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. And now we will study all the kingdoms one by one in next videos. So students, hope you all have understood the topics. If you have any doubt or question, you can ask in the comment section below, and the remaining topics will be covered in the next videos. Please like, share it with your classmates, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you can get my latest updates. Thank you and take care.